And his name is John Cena. You can't see my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now.
Welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. From three guys who taught sports together over lunch for over 10 years. Probably eating a Fudgy the Whale in that time.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life.
Welcome, everybody, to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. I'm Bryan Galloway here from the Badlands of Rumson, New Jersey, Alex Shanley. How are you, Alex?
I'm good, Brian. Enjoying the tournament. My bracket is not busted just yet. I mean, I
It can't be busted after the first couple hours.
Well, you never know, man. You never know.
There you go.
Never know.
And
if you had Duke winning, you were sweating it.
I know. And parts unknown, we have Michael Pipersek. How are you, Mike?
I'm also doing well, Brian. Starting to enjoy some more sunlight. A little warmer today, which is great.
It's cold in the parts unknown right now, huh?
No, today was actually kind of nice. I liked it.
Okay, good. So it's crazy sports. We'll do a couple of things. I mean, we'll focus on NCAAs, but let's do a couple of things out of the way. First, no more than a minute. The WNBA did agree upon their expansion or whatever their negotiations, and they got I think they got most of what they wanted. I don't think they got everything they wanted, but I think they seem to be pretty happy. But we are going to have a WNBA season. So how happy are you about that, Alex?
I don't really watch it, so no effect on my life. But I'm happy for the women that play the sport. You know, they went from $66,000 minimum salary to $300,000 minimum salary. So I think that's great, and I think it's a growing league. And I'm glad that they're going to spend it on the people that are actually in front of the camera all day. So hopefully it continues to grow, and they have great success.
And Mike.
Same. I was pleasantly shocked to see the changes. So minimum salary jumping from 66 to 300,000. The average is going to jump from 120 to 600,000, and then a supermax jumps from 249 to 1.4 million. So that's great for them. The part that always has me scratching my head with the WNBA, and it's probably because I don't follow it closely, is I don't know how well they do attendance-wise. Shorter season, obviously, they don't play like 40 games or something. So I always wonder, and a lot of these teams, if not all of them, are kind of tied to the NBA team. Are the NBA teams keeping these teams afloat and kind of contributing to this?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, the NBA does, yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So good on the NBA for doing that. I think we've talked about the challenge.
But you know something, if they lose money again this year, with all this extra money, if they start losing this year, NBA is going to say forget it after a while. I mean, if they last another year or two, I'd be surprised if they don't make money. They They haven't made money in a couple of years, right?
I guess they would just allow the NBA teams to deal with that, right? Write it off as a loss and deal with it. Because can you imagine the bad press if the NBA says, "Hey, we're shutting down the WNBA," despite the fact that they would say, "Hey, we're doing it for legitimate business reasons," right? A business owner does not.
Well, the Liberty do well. Right? The Liberty do well. The Indiana sells out most of the time. They also sell out on the road because Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
I think any team with Paige Buckers is going to do well. Kelsey Plum, she's okay. There's a couple that do fairly well, but there's a lot that don't. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe they're not media friendly, or they're just not very into the. I don't know. They need to get out there and get on the fan base and get the fan base involved. I don't think they do as much. All they do is complain, and I think that's something that they have to stop. They have to stop being a complaining league, because the basic thing about the WNBA, everybody talks about, all they do ever is complain. They complain. Now they got their money. Okay, now do something.
Yes.
Play some good basketball. Learn how to make a layup. And do those kind of things.
This sounds like an Angel Reese dig.
So here's the stats from 2024. They reportedly lost 40 to 50 million.
Total? The league?
The league.
Okay.
despite record viewership and revenue.
Hmm.
But as they say, it's largely due to increased cost for charter flights, which they didn't have in the past,
Okay.
and expansion rather than declining in popularity.
Hmm.
So they're growing pains, it sounds like to me. And 40 or 50 million.
I hope they do well. 'Cause
It's
I
like
don't want
one
to see them
contract.
fold.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to see them fold. I enjoy watching Caitlin Clark. I enjoy watching some of these matches. I did watch some. I watch the Liberty once in a while. Um, Sabrina's great too. I like watching her, but
Mhm.
it's just that there's so many teams in this league that are just bad, or they're just not. You watch them and there's no marquee player, or there's no person that has a personality, and that's a tough thing. It's really tough. So, we'll see. Hopefully they do something. A lot of it has to do with self-marketing. I think they really got to do that. But enough, enough. We've wasted way more time than we need to
It's
with
not
WNBA.
wasted.
We'll have an
It's
NBA. We'll have a WNBA preview show. We'll do that later on. But
Yeah,
okay,
a
the
lot of
World
good
Baseball
players.
Classic. Yeah, World
Really,
Baseball Classic. All of us expected Japan to win, and what happened? Who won?
the
Alex.
uh, the Venezuelans, who I guess they're part of the U.S. now, aren't they? When I saw that Venezuela won the game, and then I saw, oh, the president of Venezuela declared it a national day of joy, I think is what they called it in Venezuela. And I said, the president of Venezuela, isn't it Donald Trump? Isn't he the president of Venezuela?
No,
According to the Wikipedia page, I think it was. He said, I run
yeah,
this country.
they
So.
have one now. But again, that Venezuela, they love their baseball. They
Oh, yeah.
always do. When I was there, Miguel Cabrera was like the king of the country. Um, so I don't know. I think hey, I think they deserved it. I think it was a great. I liked it. I think I started out not sure if I really wanted to watch that stuff,
Mhm.
and I ended up watching it.
It's a great thing to watch given the time of season, right? Like it's right before March Madness. Baseball hasn't started. You're kind of anxious for spring to get here. So I think it fills that gap really nicely. So I watched a number of the U.S. games. I watched a couple of the Dominican Republic games, and
Did you watch any of the Netherlands or
no,
England? No, okay.
no, no,
I
and
thought it was
I
great.
didn't see any of the Japan
Italy
games.
was a great story too.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
very good
hmm
story.
yeah. But you know what? It just came down to the U.S. just didn't hit. They
Mm.
didn't hit in the last two games, and that's why they lost.
I'm getting
So
worried about Judge. Not Judge doesn't hit in big games.
yeah,
I'm
I mean
really
he
getting
did
worried about
pretty
him.
well in the playoffs last year.
And he did. He had the throw of the season to get
Oh yeah,
Tatis though.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
I couldn't. I mean that to me that was first of all, why would they run in his arms? Second of all, it was a rocket.
Yeah.
It was a
That
rocket.
was Tatis too, right? That he threw
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
Tatis. Well, isn't it interesting? And since we're talking baseball, I don't want to deviate too much, but there's something I want to just run by you real quick. This won't take us long. I saw a big article and it said if you had to put together the all-time Yankee lineup, would Judge make it? And
No.
let's talk about this. Hold on a second. Let's talk about this. Okay. So, first base.
Well, if you're just talking outfield, right? I mean, he
Oh,
has
no,
to
no.
start.
Let's talk the whole thing because you have a DH too, right? Okay. First base, Lou Gehrig, right? Do we have to argue? Okay, no. Second base, you could definitely argue. I don't know who. Is it Willie Randolph? Is it Tony Lazzari?
Yeah.
Is it Cano? I don't know, but
Bill Richardson, didn't he play second base?
Bobby
He played
Richardson
third
was,
base.
yeah, I think he plays short too. I think he played second or
With
third.
that whole
Um,
doggone 1927 Yankees
yeah,
team as the
yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Lazzari was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
very good player.
So, but you get okay. One of those would be there. Second shortstop, probably Jeter. I mean, I don't know. You could probably say maybe
That's Jeter.
Phil Rizzuto, Tony
No.
Kubek, but no, it's Jeter.
Hmm.
Third base. That's an interesting one too. Is it
I mean,
A-Rod?
statistically, it has to be A-Rod.
But is it Nettles? I would rather have Nettles than A-Rod.
Well,
Nettles
me
is
too,
an
but
amazing
but
fielder.
statistically, it's A-Rod.
Oh, statistically, but yeah,
Yeah.
but if you okay, outfield, you got to have DiMaggio, you got to have Mantle,
Babe Ruth.
you have to
Babe
have Babe
Ruth.
Ruth. Right there, you go. That's your outfield.
There's your
That's why I
outfield.
said. That's why I said
So
Judge is not
who's
in
the
it.
DH?
Ron Bloomberg.
Hey, Ron Bloomberg. Hey, he had some good years, Ron Bloomberg. Don't mess with Ron Bloomberg. But
Heck, you can make your DH like a Reggie Jackson even.
Reggie
Yeah.
Jackson, Aaron Judge,
Oh my gosh.
Hank Bauer, Roger Maris, right? But he was, he only had, I mean, he had two pretty awesome years, um, but is Judge that guy?
He makes it on DH, but I don't think he makes it in the field.
You
No.
think he'd be the best DH?
Well, I guess if we have a DH, I'd make Babe Ruth the DH, and I would put Judge in the outfield because Judge is a
That
better
arm.
fielder than Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
But I wasn't considering DH. So if you did it that way, I'd say Babe Ruth, and then
Could you imagine that lineup though? Like that's another whole thing too. Could you imagine that lineup? I
but
just
it's like you create the lineup just like the U.S. did now, right? Like I just feel like everybody sits back and waits for somebody else to hit the home run.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when the Yankees had these all stars at every position. It was like I just felt like they were just like laying back and waiting for somebody to get the hit instead of saying, "Hey, I got to get on and you got to move me over." And so I always wonder about these super teams, and I think the U.S. kind of fell into that in the World Baseball
yeah,
Classic,
they were
as did other teams, right? As
they
did
were
other
the home run. That one thing about that tournament, it's a home run tournament.
You're
Everybody's trying
right.
to
Yeah.
hit a home
For
run.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, when you're pitching against 17-year-old high school players,
Miller
batting
was
against
just
17-year-old
Miller is
players.
just unhittable. That guy,
Yeah.
I love that. It's such an amazing the way his pitch moves and the speed he does it at. It's just amazing. If he has longevity, he could be in the realm of top 10 relievers of all time. He's
Wow.
just got to do it. He's also got to do it for a better team.
Yeah.
But he's like the movement on his pitches. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. Who was the last guy that threw that hard? Rob Dibble. But Rob Dibble was so wild.
Yeah.
As a reliever,
Yeah, that threw that fast.
John Rocker,
Oof.
remember him?
Yeah,
What
John
a
Rocker,
disaster
had a
he
couple of really good years.
Yeah.
Dude threw
But he was a
hard.
nutcase. He was on Survivor.
Was he? For
Yeah.
Oh,
He actually went pretty. He went past the midway. I mean, he went.
Huh.
You have to take the 7 train to get there, though.
Yeah, John Rocker was on
Mm.
Survivor.
Chapman throws hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He's over 100. He was the hardest thrower in the league for a number of years.
Dibble was the guy, man. Dibble used to throw like 106. I mean, I don't that down in the
He was
nasty. Where they
like
were
a-
the Nasty Boys, where they had that.
Norm
that
Charles.
one year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had no pitching.
Chris
staff.
Sabo at
Won the
third
World
base.
Series with no pitching staff. They had great relievers. Yeah.
Plus McKenzie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a very interesting thing. Is I thought. I mean, I love Judge. Believe me, he's one of my favorite players. But this inability to hit. Like last year in the playoffs, he did hit well, and
He did.
I was hoping. But then this year, he went right back to it again. I was watching him. You watch his face. It's like he wants to hit the home run to be the star, and he's trying. If he tried to get a single or double, he probably would have had a bunch more hits.
Yeah, but it's also like for all these guys, spring training, right? Like, it's like we're
Yes.
trying to judge a superstar based on spring training, and
Well,
the
like last year
pitchers
in
are
the playoffs, they
generally
pitched
ahead of
around
the
him too,
batters.
and that's another thing. We don't, you know, with the Yankees, there's one guy you pitch around him. You have to pitch around him all the time,
Right.
and they do, and they don't give him a lot to hit. He doesn't get a lot. He's got to be very selective. But so for him to be selective, he does not need to hit the home run. And
Right.
and if he gets a double or single, that's fine. There's other people on the team who can get him in.
Or even
But
a walk.
but losing that at bat by just flailing at balls, I just kills me. Again, he had that one. He almost had that one home run, which
Yeah.
but anyway, so still love the guy. It's crazy. Okay, so the next thing we were going to talk about was what, Mike? I'm trying.
The NBA. They are expanding. We talked last week about how the NBA kind of needs to do something. The game has kind of gotten a little bit
Let's water down
stale.
the lineups and open up an expansion team. Great.
Yeah, so now they're going to water down the lineups and they're going to vote on adding 2 expansion teams, which I'm sure everyone's going to approve. So you're going to see a team in Las Vegas, which we kind of knew was coming, and the triumphant return of a Seattle franchise, which I would fully expect is going to be called the Supersonics. Bring them back, and the price it looks like is going to be between $7 and $10 billion per franchise. And LeBron James came out and said he has no interest in the Vegas team and being an owner, which I don't believe for a second. I think he 100% is going into that.
I don't believe anything that guy said.
Really?
I think so. I was scratching my head when I saw his quote because I was thinking, why wouldn't he want to get into the
Do you think he
ownership
wants to
position?
distance himself from basketball when it's over with and just say, "Forget it, I'm going to go sit in the beach somewhere"?
No, because I
Well,
think
he
he
does a
wants
lot.
attention, right?
Yeah.
I think he loves being in the spotlight.
And he
He
does a
does.
lot, charity work and stuff. Like he could do a lot there. But if he were, right, if we had to look into our crystal ball
hmm
and he were the owner
hmm
of Las Vegas, who's his point guard?
well, his backcourt then. I'm going to
His other
extend
son,
that
his
to
other
his
son's
backcourt.
his other son's averaging a 0.4 for what for where
Arizona.
does he? Yeah, Arizona
Arizona
0.4.
Press is a
He's
freshman
really
Oh,
there.
rocking it.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I just
So they may struggle for a couple of years, but
yeah. But I think it's so lucrative, and I think in a way having him as part of and I don't view him as the primary owner, right? It's going to be an ownership group, I assume, a couple of folks. Um, but I also view it as almost like a thank you gift, a retirement gift, if you will, from the NBA to say, hey, you set every record in the book. You were beyond what you were expected to be coming in as a 18-year-old rookie, anointed King James and self-anointed, but whatever. And he kind of exceeded everything, right? He's got a number of titles, which we could obviously debate on, the value of those titles he's won, but he's accomplished everything in the sport that a player can. I mean, he's got like every record, right? Most field goals, I think, was the most recent one he hit that he broke.
Hmm.
Points, obviously, he's created tons of space between himself and everybody for a total number of points. So I think he's definitely going to be an owner, and I'm still putting my money on that team's going to be called the Las Vegas Royals, and he's an owner because you can't call them the Kings, name them after him. So I think it's going to be the Las
I
Vegas
like it.
Royals.
I like it. Maybe you could be the GM, Mike.
Hey, I'd love it. I'd love it.
What are some big name guys that teams want to get rid of in the expansion draft, right? Because they'll have to have an expansion draft, I'm sure.
Yes, that's what they did.
so normally you have to get rid of two guys that are not under like I think you get to protect 8. I think that's what they
Okay.
did last time. So
So
you
does
protect 8
like
guys, and then there's other people. There's depending on their contract situation.
so
Um,
LeBron could go to a team.
in the
He
expansion
could.
draft, could you
God help
imagine that?
us, man.
He could.
Just retire already.
Zion could go,
Yeah,
right?
use
Because
a
he's
fresh
probably a
start.
contract they
Yeah,
don't want.
get a marquee guy.
But
I
they might,
think.
not- but the expansion team might not want him because of the contract, though, too.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed. Agreed.
maybe he signs a shorter contract to kind of reestablish his reputation, and that gives the team a little bit of ability to win some games that first year. Because if I remember right, when you brought in teams like Charlotte and Miami, it wasn't like they gave you the top pick. You gotta pick on the fringes of the draft lottery. Like you couldn't be. Whoa.
I don't know what happened there.
I'm getting like walked off. I'm getting walked off stage. I got the Oscars.
Life is a highway. No,
I won one of those
Thanks
like
very much, Mike.
so. So yeah, I think you don't want those teams to be atrocious from year one. So I think like Bryan said, you maybe say, okay, you can keep your top 8 guys or this many this dollar amount in contracts, and then you have some pretty good players in that pool. And then if you get a good GM, right? Maybe someone backs up the Brinks truck to someone like a Sam Presti, who's obviously a wizard over there as a GM in Oklahoma City, and you kind of cobble together that first year roster that's semi competitive and start making some trades and shrewd draft picks, and fairly quickly you're in the mix. But oof, gonna be something else. I think
I
like
mean,
you, Brian,
Oklahoma City is going to lose players, right? They have,
they have to. Man alive, do
yeah,
they have
yeah,
players?
they'll lose players.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It will be.
I'm trying to see if names for Vegas is Villains the name.
Villains. The
That's one
villains?
name I saw. Yeah.
Oh dear, they're already coming up with names. Villains. That's an awful name.
It isn't. That is an awful name. I'm not sure if I like that. Villains.
I
I
don't know if
need
that's
the
it.
the WNBA team is the Aces, right? Which is clever, gambling related, but
Okay, so no official name has been chosen, though the front runners for the new franchise, popular fan media suggestions: Scorpions, Vipers, Outlaws, Jackpots, Slots, and Silver.
sluts.
The sluts?
It's very Vegas.
Oh, the sluts, I thought you said.
Oh my gosh,
That would
those are
not be
all
good. I don't think that would be a very good team, the sluts.
the
The Las
first the
Vegas
first
sluts.
the
Oh.
first few of those sounded like USFL names.
Yeah, Scorpions, Vipers, Outlaws.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Here's one: the 702s, representing the area code. The Las Vegas 702s.
No.
See that sounds like a 3-on-3 team name.
Yeah.
So not the Royals. The Royals is not even in there, huh?
No. Well,
Interesting.
doesn't somebody own the Royals?
Well, it used to be
Kansas City.
Was
Yeah,
it the
Kansas
Kansas?
City
Was it the
Royals. Well, yeah,
Kings,
you
Brian?
know,
They used to be the Royals.
Kansas City Royals.
Yeah. So whatever team, I think they still get that, right? Who are the Kansas City Royals? Is it the Lakers now? Because they went to Minneapolis and then to the Lakers. Is that right?
Yeah, Minneapolis. The Lakers moved from Minneapolis to LA. Yeah.
But were they the Royals at one point?
No, the Royals were Cincinnati.
Oh,
That's
Cincinnati.
it. Where Oscar Robertson played, and that became the Sacramento Kings, though, wasn't it?
They became the
Kansas City
Kansas
Kings.
City Omaha Kings,
Yes, and
and
then
then they became the Sacramento Kings.
So,
yes.
do they still have the rights to the Kansas City Royals or whatever it was?
Cincinnati Royals.
I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, they might. They probably do, and they're probably not
Because
going
like
to give it up because it's LeBron James.
Tennessee
They wanna-
Titans own the Houston Oilers
Oh.
stuff.
See,
Which is kinda silly.
the Royals is the perfect name for this team because it has a Vegas tie and it has a LeBron James tie.
Yeah, you got LeBron racked into this thing.
I totally
He's
do,
saying
man.
no.
I've got to get on what are those sites where you could bet on anything?
Kalshi?
What's that? Yeah, I got to get on Kalshi and put money on this thing. I mean, come on. and I think he's kind of created this smoke screen where he says I have no interest in this, and then I'm like, he's
Yeah,
got to have
okay,
interest.
great.
How can he
He
not?
has
Unless
no
he thinks he's going to keep playing forever. I just want this guy to
He also
retire.
says
already.
he's also
But-
says he's not using hair products for his hair. I mean,
But
that's
he
fine.
doesn't have that kind of money.
But he
8
said
billion?
he's over.
7 to 10 billion?
Well, if you got to write a check for $7 billion on day one,
Well, yeah, if it's you want to buy the team,
well,
that's what it is.
he's
Because
a
all the
bill-
owners want their money.
he's a billionaire athlete. A-Rod bought a basketball team. He has that much money.
No, A-Rod didn't. Well, he was
He's the
partnered
other guy,
with the
right?
guy that had the money.
Yeah, so that's what I think LeBron does. He gets with someone,
Okay. All right.
but he's involved. Team is called the Royals. He's the face of it. Shows up at events.
Like
Introduced-
Magic Johnson was for the Lakers. Now the Dodgers.
Yeah. Magic.
Yeah,
They
I don't
kicked
know,
him
guys.
out.
I don't know. Guys. It's not going to happen. Okay, let's move on to something that's more reliable and more fun to talk about. The NCAA championship has just started. The playoffs. Um, before we do look at this, there is an NIT. I know I saw a lot of teams refused to go to any other tournament besides the NCAA's, and then there's that tournament out in Las Vegas. We just talked about Las Vegas. Is that becoming more prominent than the NIT right now, or no?
Which one is it? Is that the CBI or the Crown? Is that
The
thing?
Crown.
The Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think did that used to be the CBI because that thing's
It
gone.
might be. It might be. I still think
think
the
they
NIT
got,
is
like-
better, but I mean, I saw a couple NIT games the other night. Those guys are playing hard.
They
wanna
get
keep
good
playing.
teams in the NIT. Really good matchups also.
I think the NIT there's more balance because they're all the teams that are on the bubble there, and they're all and they're probably either they're all pissed off that they didn't get in, so they're trying to prove something. But it's the NIT is not a joke, and I it's sad that how prominent it used to be where it's nothing now. But it is cool. It's still a good tournament. I'm glad that teams are trying hard.
Are there
But
only
that Crown
16
tournament,
teams in it now?
their Crown tournament is kind of interesting to me because
No, I think it's 32 still, Alex. They play right away. The NIT started
the very
But
next
I'm
day.
only seeing 4 teams per round. Oh no, 8 teams. It'd be 4 games. Yeah, 8. So it'd be
Yeah,
32. Right. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and there's very good
Do the
teams.
math.
Yale got knocked out the first round, which is unfortunate because
Yeah,
you know
which
they had
was
a
my pick to come into the tournament for
yeah had a great
Penn.
season. And they've kind of turned into the class of the Ivy. But yeah, they kind of
I
lost
mean,
it.
Auburn's in it. There's not many big name teams. New
Yeah,
Mexico,
yeah. Auburn won their
Wake
first game. I saw that.
Wake Forest, Dayton,
Yeah,
Well, you
Wichita
know,
State had a
here,
decent.
see,
Oklahoma
see,
State.
this
Yeah.
is my thought, guys, and you tell me. Okay, I'm a senior. I'm not going to the NBA now. If I'm going to the NBA, it's different. You don't want to get hurt. Okay, I'm a senior. I'm not in the NCAA tournament. Do I want to continue my career and keep playing basketball? Yes, I do. Right? I wouldn't want to say that's it. I'm hanging it up. I want to go play as much as I can because I mean I never get this chance again.
I I saw Brian. There's a 26-year-old playing for who was it? Hmm.
Is the
VCU maybe?
NIT or in the
No,
tournament?
the March Madness. I think he's
Wow,
playing for VCU. 26 years old.
wow.
He's the same age as Tyler Hero.
Tyler
Tyler
Hero's been in the
Hero's been
league
in
for
the NBA for
16.
7 years.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's
Well, I
crazy.
guess with NIL, you can make probably more money than
Right,
right than anywhere else
right.
because that
But
guy.
to Brian's point, like a tournament, you're not really making NIL money there.
Yeah,
But again, this is you're done. You're hanging up. You're not going to be playing any sports anymore. You're not good enough for the NBA.
Yeah,
You're not going
Mhm.
to go play overseas. So this is your last shot. I wanna. Should I continue and play as many games as possible? Because I am a competitor and I want to do that. I
yeah,
would like
yeah,
me. I would want to do that.
yeah. That's what I mean. Like you're not really doing it for the money. You're doing it because for the love. And I think, yeah, Brian, you're right. I think
yeah.
every player that's not playing anywhere else is going to want to say, "Let's go play in the NIT."
That's why it bothers me so much when you see these the college football games, the bowl games, where so many guys sit out because they know they're going to the NFL, but it hurts their other teammates because
Mhm.
they're not there for the bowl game.
The Bulls are done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
I
Bulls
think
are
I have a
done.
feeling that's true.
They're done.
Well, this is still to this point. This could be the best sporting event that goes on every year. It definitely is the the best tournament that goes on every year.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? So, who are your, right now at this point, who are your, I know we did some games as of this broadcast, a couple games have finished, but not many. Um, what do who are you really looking forward to seeing winning? Who is there somebody that you really feel is gonna do it based on the brackets? What do you guys think?
Let Mike start because this is his bailiwick.
Yeah, a team I'm really curious to see how they do, particularly after Duke's struggles today, is St. John's. I'm really intrigued by St. John's. Watch them play down the stretch in the Big East, and man, they're just really physical, and it's bully ball, and they just hammered a very good UConn team at the Garden in the Big East Finals. So they've got Northern
And they're pissed
Iowa.
off, and they're really pissed off.
Yeah, they've got Northern Iowa in the first round, and I think Northern Iowa led the country in defensive points allowed. I think they only allow like 61 points. So it sounds like they could get St. John's into a slog, but I don't think St. John's minds that. Now, the second round, you have a potentially intriguing matchup where St. John's could play Kansas. And I don't know if you guys know this. Zuby Ejiofor, who's one of my favorite players in college basketball in St. John's, he went to Kansas for a year.
Hmm.
And I think that they will just physically pummel Kansas.
Hmm.
And so
That's your team.
I know, and look, Darren Peterson, I think is the best freshman in the country. You know, he made honorable mention All American mostly because he missed so much time with injuries and cramps and so forth. But they beat Arizona without Darren Peterson, and then when he's in, they're a little bit disjointed. So it seems like lately he's been playing a lot more minutes. You know, he got some criticism from Bill Self. He's been playing a lot more minutes lately, but they went out pretty tamely in the Big 12 tournament. They got beat up pretty good, and so now they're coming in as a 4 seed, but they just have been so inconsistent that I could see St. John's taking care of business there in that game, and I'm sure Zuby Ejiofor would love to kind of end Kansas' season, and you could see a Sweet 16 matchup between Duke and St. John's, which if Duke is shooting the ball as poorly as they did today, I could really see St. John's giving them trouble. So I did have in my bracket, I do have Duke getting past St. John's, but that's kind of like one to watch, and it's maybe not a huge upset pick, but they're a 5 seed St. John's, so they're a little bit below the radar there. Another team I'm really curious to watch is Miami of Florida. I'm not a huge ACC guy this year, but they've got Jay Lucas as their coach, so John Lucas's son, and so he was a longtime assistant at Duke, a principal recruiter for them, and he's done a really nice job for Miami in his first season. And if they get past Missouri in their first round game, they get Purdue in round 2, and Purdue, made a nice run to get to the Big Ten title, but they just seem a little bit vulnerable. A terrific point guard in Braden Smith, who's on the cusp of breaking Bobby Hurley's all-time NCAA assist record. But Miami Purdue second round game could be interesting. Where if Miami pulls that off, you got a 7 seed in the Sweet 16. Down below in the Midwest, Alabama second leading scorer gets arrested for felony possession of 2 pounds of marijuana. I have no idea how that happened. So Alabama is potentially vulnerable as a 4 seed. I've got Miami, Ohio beating Tennessee. As you guys
I'm
know,
sure you're Rick Barnes.
you guys know my feelings about Rick Barnes. Never a Rick Barnes fan. So that's kind of like one I'm watching. And I like Miami. I didn't like the whole narrative of maybe they shouldn't get in. So NCAA
Bruce Pearl ate a lot of crow there yesterday.
Yeah, good. But then all of a sudden he's talking about mid-majors and how he's a fan of them. But they looked really good. They basically had a home game.
They did look very good. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they basically had a home game there in Dayton, which is good for them. But that's an upset I'm looking for. It's more of an 11-6 update, and then popping over to the South region where Florida is the 1 seed. I'm really excited about this second round game where Vanderbilt and Nebraska are going to play. So Nebraska's really turned it around this year under Fred Hoiberg. So I really want to see that game. And Vanderbilt has gone from a doormat with all their athletic programs, well, football and basketball primarily. And now they're really good in football, really good in basketball. But I don't see.
It just takes money, Mike.
It just takes money, man.
That's all.
Got the money.
And
money.
yeah, so not a lot of surprises there. Although North Carolina with their best player Caleb Wilson out for the rest of the season, I'm thinking VCU's an upset candidate there in that 11-6 game, but
they're down 11.
Yeah, early on, but yeah, I won't reveal my final 4 picks, but that's kind of like what I'm looking at.
No. I want to hear your final 4 picks.
You want to hear my final 4 picks? All right, so here my
if they don't happen, yes.
All right, my final 4 picks. So in the East region, I've got Michigan State.
Me too.
Yeah, I really like Tom Izzo. They've had a really good season, and they absolutely obliterated North Dakota State today. And I feel like Michigan State always matches up well with Duke in the NCAAs. They're kind of like a thorn in Duke's side in the NCAAs. They played earlier this season, much earlier. Duke won by 6. I think Michigan State's really good, and they're a 3 seed. They're going to get Louisville in round 2. Louisville's best player has had back injuries. Michael Brown didn't play today. They squeaked by South Florida. So I think Michigan State's in good shape. So I got Michigan State in the Final 4. Down south, I've got Florida in this Final 4 as well. A lot of guys back.
Me too.
A lot of guys back from that national championship team. And then Xavier Lee they added, and they've been playing a lot better. And I don't really see, Houston, I don't think defends as well this year as they did last year. So even though that regional is going to take place in Houston, I don't think that's enough of an advantage for the Cougars to get by. Illinois is a popular pick. I just haven't seen them play, and I'm not normally a huge Big Ten fan other than Michigan State. And then on the other side of the bracket, in the West, I've got Arizona, a team I absolutely love.
Me too.
Love them, man. They're so good.
We're 3 for 3 so far, Mike.
Okay, so I had to go a little bit. off-brand here in the Midwest. Michigan has had a really good season. I got them going to the final 8, but I've got them being upset because you guys know I'm always a bit of a Big 12 homer. I've got them upset. I think finally, Iowa State's going to get over the hump and make it to the Final Four.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, your bracket's going to be busted.
By Iowa State?
Yeah.
Well, second round they could see Kentucky or Santa Clara. Kentucky's a 7 seed. They've been really inconsistent, so I think they've got a pretty clean path to the Sweet 16 where they would run into Tennessee, Miami, Ohio, or Virginia. And I think Virginia's really good this year.
That's who I have in the Final Four.
Yeah, they're very good. I actually had I had Indiana State beating Virginia, and I debated a little bit about that one, and I just couldn't take Michigan. So there you go. That's my Final Four, and then my national championship pick is Arizona beating Florida.
Wow.
I'm Arizona beating Michigan State.
All right.
So we have a very similar bracket, Mike. So I'm in agreement with Mike. I have Michigan State, I have Florida, I have Arizona, and then I have Virginia in my Final Four. And I have Arizona beating Virginia and Michigan State beating Florida, and Arizona winning it all.
All right.
So, but I have St. John's beating Duke.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know
That's
what,
how I have
Alex?
Duke losing.
Yeah, after today, I'm kind of a believer because I feel like St. John's is just so tough and physical, and
Duke looked terrible. They look like freshmen. They really did.
yeah, other than Boozer, who's class, and they've got a couple of injuries as well, which is another challenge for them. But yeah,
Which Boozer? There's 2 of them.
oh gosh, it's
There's
not
2 of them.
Caden. Cameron Boozer.
Cameron, yes.
Yeah, he's a very good player.
Yeah. But Caden looked a little lost at the beginning of the game, and
Yeah.
it didn't seem like was making the right pass, was making the right call, and he had the ball in his hands a lot. And then in the second half, they kind of switched it up, and he started playing much better. So they went to a zone defense.
He hasn't played a ton for them this season. I think that the 2 injuries they've got, or I think it's Caleb Foster is one of their players that's injured, and Patrick Ngangba, their center, and it kind of showed a little bit today that they were a little bit short, and I think Caleb Foster has a fracture in his foot, so he's going to be out a bit of a way. So yeah, they're definitely vulnerable, and after St. John's performance last year against Arkansas, because ultimately, we all know it comes down to matchups, and I feel like you've got a good one there, Alex. I think St. John's could be a really bad matchup for Duke because they're men. They've got men on their team.
Yeah.
So I have St. John's going to the Final Four.
All right.
But
That's
again, I
good.
don't. You guys are better at college basketball than I am. I have Virginia also.
You got that Virginia family tie,
that's
Bryan.
my family. That's I got Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I don't. No, I don't. Michigan State.
No,
Would
yes,
make it.
yeah,
St.
they have to
John's.
beat-
Okay, St. John's. I'm sorry. I'm just
All
trying
right.
to look. I have so many different brackets. So St. John's. Oh, I have Gonzaga in a lot of them. So Gonzaga, I have going far, which they're not going to do that.
Another team with one of their players injured as well.
Yeah, and Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Virginia, and over here, wait? What's my consensus? Florida. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, not that much different than you guys, but I do have St. John's. I just have this feeling that St. John's Patino is going to do this. This is it. They spent a lot of money. They put together this super team. They're going to go do it.
Now, how far do you guys have UConn going? Nobody had UConn.
No, not very far.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you have?
I have UConn losing to Michigan State.
Yeah, me as well.
In reality, Seton Hall should have beat them a couple weeks ago. Like, right? I saw them play. They were not good, and I don't know what the hype is about them. I don't know how they got a 2 seed.
They played a tough schedule, I guess.
Yeah, they play a very tough schedule. Beat a lot of quadrant 1 teams, as they say. But when I was watching that St. John's UConn game last week, it was pretty cool because there were 2 guys that really stood out to me, one on either team. Zubi Ejiofor is just terrific on St. John's, and he's kind of like the heartbeat of that team. But do you guys watch that Alex Caravan guy on UConn?
Yes. Yes.
That guy just knows how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like he just does all the right. He's really slow and doesn't really jump well. But man,
Larry Bird.
he just makes the
He's a
right
really good
play,
player.
like the back cuts and the
He got
passes.
his number retired already, right?
Yeah, he's a really good player. He thought about leaving, I think, last year to go to the NBA, and he's going to be a really good like role player in the NBA, and I think he's just going to get better. He just really knows how to play the game, and just a lot of fun to watch. So that game was cool to watch just for those two guys, and the atmosphere of the Garden is just beyond anything because I think it was the same night. It was the same night. So I'm watching St. John's UConn, the Garden, and that crowd is just electric. It practically jumps out of your TV. And then I flip to watch the Arizona Houston game, the Big 12 final from I think it was Oklahoma City, and it was a great game, a great basketball game. The crowd was into it, but it just does not have that same.
Was it sold
electricity.
out?
Yeah, it was pretty packed. It was good. Earlier games were not, and there was no buzz at all. But yeah, it was a really cool crowd at the Garden, and it's just beyond compare.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell you guys this, but one of the company events we had this week was the Knicks Pacers game. So I actually went to two Knicks games in a
No,
matter of a
really?
couple days.
That's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
but two. Well, I mean, both Nick wins, which was great. But the thing is, the decrepit Warriors injured team and that's the lousy Pacer team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two tankers for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
but I
Pacers
got
are
I
definitely.
got a cool Knicks St. Patrick's Day shirt that they gave out to everybody.
Oh, that's cool.
They had, when you came in, they had all like the Warriors used to do with their yellow shirts, strength in numbers.
Yeah.
They had all
Mhm.
green Nick shirts on everybody's chair. So when you got there, now they're extra large, which is fine, but a little tight.
Strength and beer, did it say, for
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day?
But yeah, two Nick games in 3 nights, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so 3 nights, two Nick games.
Yeah.
And
That's tough. That's why there's no way I could do a season tickets to Knicks because it'll be like there's too many games. It's a lot. I love going there. I love that place. There's
Yeah.
nothing like going to the Garden,
Yeah.
and especially when the Knicks are playing. Defense and the
yeah,
go New York, go New York, go. I love all that stuff. That's just amazing. But
I
there's a
love the
lot to
drip
do.
cam
Get
that they
out of
do.
there, and then so basically here it was, go there and then go back to Connecticut where I could have just gone home.
Oh, you had to go back
It's
to
like the
Connecticut.
wait,
bus
you went from Connecticut to the Garden?
It's like crazy, dude.
That's
When I
awesome.
got back to the hotel, I was ready to die. I was so
Oh
tired.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
So anyway, but that's it.
Hmm.
Okay. So I am looking forward. This is great. Are you guys now? Are you guys going anywhere to watch it? Are you gonna? You gonna? Do you sit at home and watch the games? You watch them on your phone? What do you guys do?
My family's into it, so we all watch it at home. We get pizza and
Yeah.
do different stuff.
Yeah.
But
Actually, this is one of the few things that
yeah,
mine are too. They Donna loves it. She
yeah,
always puts a bunch of brackets in and she does it and she's won a couple times, so she's very
Yeah.
into this. She gets all pissed off if one of her teams doesn't do well. Like she's bad.
Even though she doesn't know anything about those teams, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. She doesn't follow
we're
number
just
one bit.
kids, right?
She gets all into it, and I love that. No, that's a cool thing about this sport. It really is. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna probably. I think tomorrow I'm going out with. I might even go with a couple of our people that we know to go have some just watch a couple of the games. Then I'll probably over the weekend I'll probably go to Bubba's a couple of times because I like to sit in there and I just love that whole atmosphere where like all the games are on and you sit
Mhm.
there. It's just
Yeah,
it's a cool thing.
yeah.
It's only two
So
times a year you can do this, right? It's not that hard.
so Brian, who did you have winning it all?
St. John's.
St. John's winning it all.
Winning it all.
Wow. And who are they beating?
I don't remember.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I just closed my bracket. I'm sorry.
He's got too many brackets.
I do have so many. I have too many brackets, but I never win. I'm the
I
worst.
never do either.
This is not. I'm not even. You guys do way better than me. I'm terrible at this.
Now,
This is
now
not one.
now
I bet
Alex,
too much with my heart. I'm
yeah.
always been that way. I bet too much with my heart.
Now Alex, you and I both picked Arizona. The game that kind of potentially worries me about them is the Arkansas game in the Sweet 16.
Yes,
Arkansas,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Arkansas had a really good tournament last year. I feel like John Calipari got a little stale at Kentucky, but I
Yeah.
feel like he's getting his groove back. And Arkansas had a nice tournament last year. They won the SEC tournament this year. He's got Darius Acuff Jr., who's a very good player. He's got that guy Brazil back. He's got DJ Wagner.
DJ Wagner from Jersey.
Yeah, they hammered Hawaii today. The they get High Point 12 seed, which I know Bryan, you picked that one. So there's
Yeah,
your
I did.
12-5 upset.
My sister Jen,
So
she went.
I
That's the only
think
reason why I took him. I didn't take him for any other reason besides that.
yeah, I think Arkansas beats High Point, which Alex, we were joking on our text chain about these mid majors and smaller schools giving the big boys a run for their money, and the NIL, all the big NIL spenders. But High Point was the biggest spender in their conference with NIL. So
Oh, really?
yes,
Interesting.
yeah.
It's
So
a rich school. It's a rich school. It's a very interesting.
yeah, very.
A lot of southern, rich people go there. I remember my sister used to tell me. She said all her friends were so rich and everything. It was pretty.
Isn't it near Elon or no?
I don't know. It's not far from the Winston Salem whatever airport. Like
Okay.
when we were flying there to visit her, we would go there, and it was
Gotcha.
not. It was really close to that airport. So I don't know what I don't know that much around that
Yeah,
area.
looking at that east region where you've got teams like Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, UConn. I've got Michigan State beating UConn, and that would be a really good game, really good matchup. And then I've got Michigan State beating Duke, and I think Bryan, you've got St. John's beating Michigan State. But that bracket, there's some
Yeah,
really good.
I like Michigan State a lot too. So, but
Yeah.
The East is loaded.
I just have this feeling
Yeah,
about
it is, man. It really is. Like Kansas is the 4 seed, right? A lot of talent
Yeah.
there.
St.
Louisville,
John for 5.
yeah. If
Well, you know
Louisville to
something,
6.
I like BYU a little bit too, but I just
yeah, I'm
they have
with you.
they have
Yeah.
players. They could do it, but I guess they don't. They the only 2 times I've seen them this year. One time they were great, and the other time they were terrible. I'm like, is this the same team? I
Yeah,
don't watch it as much. My whole point of view of college basketball is I see a couple games. Like I see a lot of St. John's games. I saw a lot of Seton, saw a lot of Rutgers, which they stunk. I would watch a lot of local teams a lot, always when they're on, and then I would watch some of the bigger game teams, especially at night, especially when I'm traveling. But I didn't see as much of some of these teams. Like I saw
Mhm.
Kansas a couple times. I saw Arkansas once or twice. I BYU definitely 2 times, and I watch them because they have that one guy who's really good. But I like to see them. But one time I was like so enthralled with them. I said, "Wow, this team could do something." And then
yeah,
I saw them again. I go, "Wait a second, is this the same team?" So I don't know if and with these tournaments, you have to be consistent. You have no
yeah,
time for an off game.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
not best of 7. It's not best of 7. You can't have an off game. You got to be on your nights. I don't know.
Yeah, they're currently losing to Texas, but down by 5 in the first half.
Yeah, Texas was a popular 11-6 pick, but I actually have a similar thought to you, Bryan. But BYU does have a load of talent. So they've got obviously AJ Devansa, who's
Hmm.
a top 4 pick and terrific. He just kind of
Terrific player.
the
Terrific player.
times I've watched him, he sometimes seems to let the other players kind of do more instead of just taking over the game. So to me,
Maybe if he takes over,
yeah,
but
he
see
needs to
again,
take
he has
over
to take
here.
over for 5 games. Is he going to be able to do
Yeah.
that? Maybe.
And then they've got this guy Richie Saunders, who's a terrific shooter. So I actually, because I don't want to just have ones playing 4s all the time in Sweet 16s and so forth, I actually have BYU beating Texas, and I haven't beaten Gonzaga. So I've got them in the Sweet 16 BYU, hoping that you get that better BYU team and their coach Kevin Young was an assistant in the NBA. He's a big analytics guy, a big offensive guru. They consider him an offensive guru, and obviously BYU is throwing a ton of money at the basketball program because Ryan Smith, who owns the Utah Jazz, is a BYU alum. He owns the Mammoth as well, so he's got a ton of money. So he's a big basketball fan. So he's putting a lot of money into the BYU basketball program. So this is where you see if it pays off all that money spent. So I'm thinking they make a little bit of a run. And again, this is me being a Big 12 homer because I've got BYU going to the Sweet 16. So
What does Danny Ainge throw any shekels in there?
you know what? They never talk about him, but
Yeah.
Danny Ainge is part of the Utah Jazz front office because Ryan Smith brought him in,
Yeah.
and I think his son. I think Danny Ainge's son as well. I think Danny's
really?
more of an advisor, and I think his son may
No,
be the
no
GM.
nepotism there, right?
No. Well, it's a
Well, so this, hey, okay, so individual players could make or break their career based on this tournament, right? There are some that are amazing, and then they go to the NBA and they really don't do anything, and there's others that have this big run here. And so, in your opinion, what were some of the greatest NCAA runs by an individual? And I'll tell you some that you know I didn't pre tell you about this, but I was thinking about this in my head. So I remember Bill. Again, I wasn't. I was. I don't know if I wasn't even alive. I don't even know if I was alive. But Bill Bradley had one I've read about where he was just unreal during the tournament.
Hmm.
Right, he was just totally upsetting everybody.
Well, he
Um,
won the MVP and didn't play in the finals, right?
Something like that, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember Bill Walton. Again, I don't remember much about it, but I read about
Man,
it.
how
I
old
swear,
are you?
Bill Walton was nuts,
Yeah.
right? Bill Walton went nuts during that one tournament. Magic had Magic and Bird, right? They both had that one year. They were both just unreal the whole time. Danny Manning for Kansas, I remember
Yes.
that. I do remember that one.
Yeah.
Six
He
seed. They
was
were a six
unreal.
seed, so that was a huge run. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones I remember. Like
Oh,
I've read about or I've seen. But Christian Leitner too had a good run there too.
oh, I've got a great one for you,
Go
Brian,
ahead,
and,
go ahead.
and I'm surprised you don't remember this one. Kemba Walker in the 2011 tournament.
Oh, UConn, yeah.
He made that run. He made that run through the Big East tournament first, I believe, and then the NCAA tournament. So they were like a six seed maybe that year. They were not a high seed, and he scored. I
And
think.
he never really was a good player. He was, because so like same with Danny
How
Manning.
about
Danny Manning, I
Carmelo
thought
Anthony?
Danny
Yeah,
Manning was going to go in the
yeah.
NBA and be a star. Did Kemba get hurt early?
In
I
his
don't remember.
career,
Yeah, he wasn't a great NBA player.
he. I think he got
He
off
was
to a
decent.
little bit of a sluggish start, but he actually had a run where he was really good in the NBA.
Okay.
And then Alex just named another great one that I had in
Who?
mind as well.
Who?
Carmelo Anthony,
Terrific as a freshman.
Yeah,
Syracuse.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
Only
How about this one? Jimmer Fredette,
Yes.
right? Remember him?
Yeah.
how far did
They
they
didn't go.
get?
He was in the
They didn't go
Olympic
super far, but
3-on-3
yeah.
tournament, right?
Yes, I think he was. Brian. I
Yes,
think
he
you're
was.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't very good at the three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that year he was the college player of the year, and they may have lost to like Gonzaga in the tournament because he was scoring
Okay.
about 30 a game. Like he was having a really great season that year
Street Clothes had a really good year, right?
as a
When
freshman. Yeah,
Kentucky won it all.
yeah, very good. Hmm. Yeah, the Kemba Walker one really stands out because it was really unexpected from the team, and I think that was when Kevin Ollie was coaching them, and I think it was his first year as the head coach. So I think it was after Jim Calhoun kind of petered out there. So that was a tremendous run because it spanned the Big East tournament, which was like very demanding. I think they may have won 5 games in 5 days or something nuts. And you're thinking a team is worn out, and then
Oh,
they
here's
make
another
this
one I thought.
incredible run.
Bo Kimball.
Oh
Oh
Remember that
yeah.
yeah,
one year when
right
Hank Gathers
after
got hurt? Bo Kimball was on a roll that
yeah,
year.
Yeah, I
after
remember
Hank
that.
Gathers died. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
got
a
to
good
the
one.
final eight, ran into UNLV though. Yeah, that's right. But yeah,
That's sad about Hank. I just saw a documentary about Hank Gathers.
mhm.
That was that I remember I was sitting in. Oh, that was just a crazy situation. Who knows how good. He might have been a really good NBA player too. You
Mhm.
just never know. Now Kimball, I think Bo Kimball from that tournament got himself drafted by the NBA. I don't think up to that point he would have been drafted,
Agreed.
Mhm.
and he wasn't a good
Who,
NBA player.
who was the Michigan State guard?
Mateen Cleaves.
Yes, he had a great tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, because
He
he
had a
was not
great
known
tournament.
as a great shooter, and
Yeah,
him and Morris
yeah,
Peterson. Yeah,
yeah.
the Flintstones. They were all from Flint, Michigan.
Hmm.
That's right.
Okay.
Syracuse. The year that Syracuse won, the thing that stood out for me is in their run to the national championship because they played that 2-3 zone forever. And the Big 12 is primarily a man-to-man conference. So Syracuse beat on their run to the title in consecutive games. They beat Oklahoma in the regional final, who was really good, and then they beat Texas in the Final Four, and then they beat Kansas in the national championship game. So they beat 3 consecutive Big 12 teams, none of whom had any idea how to play against a zone defense to win their only national championship for Jim Boeheim.
Who
Really?
was the guard? I know I keep throwing out these. I just remember but I don't remember the names. The guard for Indiana when they won.
Well, Keith Smart hit the game winner, and
It
then
wasn't
Steve,
Keith
Steve
Smart.
Alford was the guy that.
Yeah, Steve Alford. That's
Steve
the
Yeah,
guy.
Alford, yes.
he
But
had a
Keith Smart,
very
he's a good one too.
Alford
How
had a
about
very
Pearl Washington?
Pearl Washington.
Yeah, Earl the Pearl Washington.
I don't think Syracuse
No, I don't think
never
he
made
was
it to the
more in
Final
the
Four then.
tournament in
No,
the
they
Big
didn't
East
make it to the Final
tournament.
Four.
Sherman
Pearl
Douglas
just-
did though with Derek
Sherman
Coleman
Douglas,
in that game. Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, you think about it. Patrick had a big run, but when Georgetown was really good, there was other guys like Bill Martin and there was other guys in that team who really did well because they double teamed Patrick all the
Sleepy
time.
Floyd.
Sleepy Floyd had a good run, yeah.
Hmm.
They obviously all the NC State guys, man. That team had some guys who had their career.
Yeah, Lorenzo Charles and those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, they were made. That team.
How about Hakeem Olajuwon for University of Houston?
Yeah, he did. He did the
He
dream.
played great. And
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler.
And and again, obviously, in the when the Bruins are really good, I mean, Lou Alcindor, not Kareem Abdul.
Yeah.
Lou Alcindor was really. He had some. He had back then. I don't think anybody could cover them.
Oh, I've got another one, and this one's gonna hurt us a little bit as New Jersey residents. Glenn Rice had a great run.
Yeah,
Don't even say
I
it.
thought I was trying to remember who that was. Yeah, it was him.
I think
Ramil Robinson too was on that team, right?
yeah, he hit the
Yeah.
free throws, but I think
Yeah.
Glenn Robinson may have said I'm sorry,
Glenn Rice,
Glenn
not Glenn
Rice.
Robinson. Not Big Dog, not Big
No,
Dog.
Glenn Rice, I believe, set an NCAA tournament record for points scored in a single tournament that year. I think, and it might have been Bill Bradley's record that he broke, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Did it in 6 games, and I think Bill Bradley played
5, I think.
played 5. Yeah, but I
What
remember-
about some of the big guys? Ralph Sampson.
Yeah,
He played
he had a good.
Virginia. He was
never
great.
made it to a final
Never,
four.
they never
Yeah.
won with him, and that's
Yeah.
another guy. Like they would double team him like crazy. But I think the year that Olden Polonies had this amazing
Yes.
run too
Yes.
for them one year.
It was the year after Ralph Sampson left.
Yeah, Jeff Lamp and Olden Polonies were like
Rick
unreal.
Carlisle was
If
on
they
that.
had played that well when Sampson was there, they
Mhm.
would have won. But when Sampson was there, they weren't old enough yet or mature enough. But then the next year, they both became really good players. Yeah, that's a interesting.
And I've got one more for you, Brian.
Okay.
Steph Curry's run at Davidson.
Davidson, yeah, he was.
I think he got
was
them to the
all about it.
final
Nobody-
8.
He had no help on that team.
No, not at all. They were a 10 seed. They upset Georgetown in the second round, who was a 2 seed. They ended up going to the final 8, and they lost a really close game to Kansas, actually.
Didn't Wally Zerbiak have a big run too?
Couple games, yeah. Well, I think they just won one game in the tournament.
A
so
big
yeah.
upset or something?
Yeah.
Did he make his NBA career from that? Because again, he's the announcer for the Knicks now, right? Or a news reporter for the Knicks.
Yeah.
He was known to be I think he was a very good player, but obviously mid-major players weren't getting a lot of.
But he had a decent NBA career, believe it or not.
Yeah, I thought he did too. Yeah, for sure. Good player. He was a solid NBA player.
Well, this tournament's gonna. I'm curious to see, and this might be a good thing to talk about when this is over. Who do we think edged out a place that we didn't expect them to really be a high draft pick, but now after the tournament they might be? Like that might be a really good discussion because every year there's one or two that maybe don't belong. They shouldn't be drafted, and they get drafted. Or
Yeah. Who was the guy the Knicks took?
Frederick Weiss.
No. No, it was like maybe I forget.
Was it Ron Baker from Wichita State?
No.
He had a good run too.
He had a really good tournament. Really athletic.
No, the guy, he had a funky name. I got to look it up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. But he played on a mid-major, I think.
And he had a good tournament and parlayed it into a.
Yep. The Knicks drafted him.
Well, St. Louis has that goofy guy with the glasses. Remember that guy from Indiana State a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Built for Europe, built for playing in Europe. That guy. I'm wondering, I'm kind of like quickly scanning all of these teams, and I kind of go back to the teams that I watched the most, and I'm curious to see what happens with a guy like Zubi Ejiofor, because he could shoot some threes a little bit and
Hmm.
big physical body. I'm curious
Well,
to
you
see
see,
where he
I
ranks.
think what the interesting thing is certain guys are stars on their college teams, right?
Hmm.
And for them to become a part-time bench player in the NBA might not work for them. But there's
Hmm.
other players who have those skills that you can look for and say, like, hey, listen, I need a shooter. Let me draft this guy. He's not going to be a starter, but he's going to come in here and he's going to be a bench guy and he'll fit that role. That's the kind of guy that can actually build a long career if they come in and they have a purpose and they're good. That we'll see what happens. But I know there's a lot of people that in college you're undersized sometimes and you're a
Hmm.
starter and you do really well, but your game doesn't translate to the NBA as much.
Yeah,
That
Got
happens a
it.
lot.
a guy like Zubi Ejiofor there are some similarities to for me to a guy like Draymond Green, right? Who was a really good
You
college basketball player.
this cemented your whole NBA your NCAA NBA career, Mike, because you were the guy who when the when the Warriors got him, I was like, oh, what the heck? Why'd they get this guy? And you're like, no, that's a good pick.
A
He's going to
really
be
good
really good. I'm
player.
like, are you kidding me? He's at the wrong size. He's not going to. There's no way he's going to
Looks like he's out
produce.
of shape.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Like I was like, I don't know what Mike's talking about, man. I think the Warriors made a bad pick. And guess what? They won championships because
I
he's
you know
again,
I
he's
had
also yeah, he's also giving me agita, but still, I mean,
yeah.
it's
I had seen Draymond Green play a few times, and I was like, wow, this guy he really knew how to play, right? And you see that obviously with the Warriors. He just has a really high basketball IQ, and you can't really teach that. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And he plays for a coach like Tom Izzo, who is a disciplinarian. He gets the most out of guys, and and I remember seeing an interview with Izzo and Draymond after a game one time, and you could see like this genuine affection. I was like, wow, Tom Izzo seems like he doesn't like anybody half the time, but he really likes this guy. And I was like, oh, cool. And then they played in the NCAA tournament. I was driving somewhere. Michigan State won the game, and so I was listening to it on the radio. And Draymond Green was getting interviewed by John Thompson, the former Georgetown
yeah.
coach, and they were going back and forth having this conversation. And John Thompson's asking very specific questions about the game, and Draymond's answering like in great detail. And I'm like, wow, this guy like is such a great basketball mind. And then when the interview wrapped up, the way that Draymond Green kind of was so respectful to John Thompson, like knowing the history of what John Thompson brought to the game, I was like, wow, I really like this kid. Like he's really mature. Now, flash forward, 12 years later, kind of flipping out at times. But yeah, just a really good basketball mind, and I think he's kind of parlayed that into an incredible career.
Well,
So
my
I
grandfather.
found the pick.
Oh
So
yeah,
John Thompson is a always gives you memories, Mike. Because I have a picture of John Thompson and my grandfather. My grandfather went to Georgetown. My grandfather used to donate some of his time and go down and help the players and give them dental stuff. And he didn't. No, he didn't actually do Patrick Ewing's mouth or anything like that. But he did some of the year before Patrick kind of guys. Like a lot of those guys, he would go down there and donate his time. But he knew Thompson like enough that
nice.
they took a picture. And my dad, my grandfather loved the guy. He thought he was the most wonderful guy. But that's always interesting. Those kind of things. Like when you talked about John Thompson, I hadn't thought about him in a long time. Then all of a sudden, like I went from that, it started segueing to my grandfather, and like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, sports does, you know, why we love sports because it transcends to other things in our lives a lot, and it also transcends memories of good
Mm.
and bad things in your life too, because you can actually think back to when a team won and how it was at that time of your life, right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
So let me hit you real quick.
Go ahead.
It was 2014. The second player taken by the Knicks was Antetokounmpo.
Oh, the brother.
The NASA's.
The Knicks drafted Thanos.
They drafted him. But the player they picked before that with the 34th pick was from Wichita State, Mike.
The Shockers.
Oh wait a minute, I remember this guy. He
Yeah.
was. I remember this guy. Yeah, he was great in the tournament. He has a funny name too.
Yes.
Anthony Early.
Yes.
Yes, I remember that guy. That's right. He was
Oh,
awesome
yeah,
in the
yes.
tournament, that guy.
He played 56 games for the Knicks.
Yeah.
That was it.
Because I remember when the Knicks drafted him, I was like, that guy's good. I was like, he was really good at Wichita State. And I was really into like
Yeah.
Wichita State
Well,
players because
even
they
Obi
had.
Toppin, right? Obi Toppin had a great run in the
Yeah.
NCAAs, right?
Well,
Another one for the Knicks was Kevin Knox from Kentucky. Remember him?
Yeah, that
Never
was when all
find
those
him.
Kentucky guys were getting drafted high.
He was
They just kept
terrible.
getting drafted.
He was just he was.
But yeah,
miserable.
Obi Toppin, Dayton was probably going to be a 1 seed. That was the year the tournament got canceled. That was 2020.
Yeah, I know.
I think they might have been ranked number 1 in the country at the time, right? Lost 1 game.
Dayton?
Yeah, they were really good that year, right?
They were
I think
really good that year. Yeah.
they were like one of the best teams in the country at the time.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. He actually's had a decent career even after he left the Knicks,
Yeah.
but he gets hurt a lot.
Definitely a good move. Like he's in Indiana, right?
Yeah,
That
was
was a
his
good
big
spot
thing.
for
Yeah,
him.
he got to play in the finals, right? He didn't get that with, but if he
I
stayed
mean,
with
this
the
is
Knicks,
depressing looking over these Knicks picks. I'm sure every team's the same way, but oh my God.
Really?
Oh my. Kobe Sanders was last year.
Kobe?
Kobe Sanders from Nevada.
What?
who is
Kobe?
Keyshawn George was the year before, was the first round
Yeah,
pick.
from Miami. Yeah, that was a popular
From
pick.
Miami.
Yeah.
And Pacomi Dadiet.
Oh goodness.
Yep. Oh, how about 2022? Osmani Dieng
Oh yeah.
and Trevor Keels.
Who's
I mean,
that?
it's crazy. Like none of these guys are on the team. They did get Mitchell Robinson in 2018 after they picked Kevin Knox. They got Mitchell Robinson.
Hey, they drafted Kyle Guy from from Virginia as well.
They did. That's where he went to the Knicks.
Yeah.
He never played, really, did he? I don't think.
True.
Yeah, no. 53 games.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it is true. Either you hit or miss. You only have 2 picks, and you hit or miss.
Remember when
and
the
a
Knicks
lot of
drafted? But when the Knicks drafted Porzingis, everyone was up in arms, and then he turned out he could actually play a little bit.
Yeah.
he just gets hurt every game.
Yeah.
It's like Sean Bradley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Sean Bradley has no legs.
Yeah. Like a biking accident, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
But,
what?
it's amazing. Like he gets around the wheelchair. I saw some picture of like a bunch of his old teammates. Obviously, his teammates loved him. He must have been a nice guy.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, this is okay. So we're gonna come. We'll come back again to see how the tournament's going. We'll hopefully baseball will be kicking off soon. And then we'll hopefully we'll do our baseball preview pretty soon. I know my
Yes,
I'm having
sir. I'm
fans
actually
with
excited about
pictures.
baseball after the World Baseball Classic.
I hope there's no one really got hurt too. That was another good thing.
Yes.
No one really got hurt. No careers were damaged by the World Baseball Classic.
Well, the catcher for the White Sox, right? Keel. He was the catcher for Italy. I think he pulled a hamstring or something running out of double. Yeah, for a catcher, that's
A
not
catcher
good.
with a hamstring.
But it's a weak thing. It's not
Not
like
like
you're out
not
for
when
the season.
Diaz got
Edwin
hurt for the
Diaz,
match.
yeah.
They pretty much crushed the team. Their best reliever.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay, well,
All right.
great. We'll talk. I'm looking forward. This is going to be a great weekend in sports. We'll see what happens.
Everybody keep watching basketball.
Take care.
See ya.
This is Tom Carvel. Thank you for listening to 3 the Hard Way Sports Podcast. Remember to get a Fudgy the Whale or Cookie Puss for the next time you're sitting down to watch the big game.